What happens when a peaceful family barbecue turns into a battleground for justice? When fake cops show up to shut down the fun and the man they're targeting turns out to be the head of the FBI? Stay with us, because this isn't just a story about racism. It's a story about power, pride, and the moment a community woke up. Before go deeper into the story, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we're telling real stories that reveal the truth behind the headlines. If you believe in justice and family, this one's for you. And hey, drop a comment to let us know where you're watching from. Maplewood Heights in Prince George's County, Maryland, basked under the glow of a warm spring afternoon, its tree-lined streets humming with the quiet rhythm of suburban life. Neatly trimmed hedges and freshly painted fences framed tidy homes, each a testament to the Homeowners Association's relentless pursuit of order and perfection. But beneath the manicured lawns and white picket fences simmered a tension that few dared to speak aloud, the kind of unspoken rules that civil rights icons like John Lewis and Fannie Lou Hamer once challenged. In the backyard of the Williams residence, the air was thick with laughter and the scent of grilled food. Children ran barefoot across the grass, their delighted shrieks weaving through the melodies of Motown classics from Marvin Gaye's What's Going On to the Temptations playing from a portable speaker. The Williams family gathered around picnic tables laden with soul food staples, baked beans, coleslaw, fried chicken, peach cobbler, the fruits of a weekend spent in preparation. Brightly colored balloons swayed gently in the breeze, a festive contrast to the polished sameness of the neighborhood. Angela Williams adjusted the wide-brimmed hat perched atop her head, smiling as she watched her husband, Aaron, flip burgers on the grill. Their teenage daughter, Jasmine, was busy organizing a game of horseshoes while their youngest, Malik, darted between groups of cousins and neighbors. It was a celebration of family and community, a Juneteenth-style affirmation of joy in a place that often felt like it wasn't meant for them. Yet, just beyond the freshly painted white fence, eyes narrowed with suspicion. Across the street, a cluster of neighbors gathered, their hushed whispers laced with barely concealed resentment. The Homeowners Association president, Geraldine Pratt, stood at the center, her posture rigid, lips pressed into a thin line. The cheerful noise coming from the Williams yard grated against her carefully maintained vision of Maplewood Heights, a vision where conformity ruled and difference was quietly pushed aside. Geraldine's phone buzzed in her hand. With a glance at the festive scene she so disapproved of, she tapped a few keys, her expression hardening. Without hesitation, she made a call, her voice low but resolute. "Yes, this is Geraldine Pratt, president of the Maplewood Heights HOA. There's a disturbance at the Williams residence in District Heights. We need immediate assistance." Minutes later, two vehicles rolled down the street, black sedans with tinted windows and flashing blue lights. But these were no official Prince George's County cruisers. The men stepping out wore ill-fitting navy uniforms, badges that glinted too brightly in the sun and carried an air of manufactured authority. Their presence cut through the backyard's warmth like a cold gust of wind. Aaron noticed first. The sizzle of the grill faltered as he straightened, eyes narrowing. Angela's smile faded as the two men approached, their expressions unreadable but their intentions clear. Jasmine's game halted, and the children's laughter dwindled to uneasy silence. The taller of the two impostors cleared his throat. "Afternoon. We received reports of a disturbance here," he said, voice flat and clipped. Aaron raised an eyebrow. "We're having a family barbecue. No disturbance here." The man's gaze flicked around the yard, landing on the diverse crowd of neighbors and friends. "We need to verify that everything is within local regulations." Angela stepped forward, her voice steady but firm. "We're not causing any trouble." Behind the faux officers, a few HOA members lingered, their smirks barely concealed. Geraldine watched from her vantage point, satisfaction flickering across her face. This was the moment to remind the Williams that they didn't belong, that their presence was an affront to the neighborhood's carefully curated image. As the men moved deeper into the yard, demanding identification and questioning guests, the atmosphere shifted. The joyous energy drained away, replaced by confusion and unease. Jasmine pulled out her phone, fingers trembling as she began recording the interaction, sensing the gravity beneath the pretense of authority. Aaron's jaw tightened. "Who exactly are you?" "I don't recall calling for police." "We're here on official business," the shorter man replied, voice clipped. "You need to comply." Angela exchanged a look with her husband, calm but resolute. "We haven't done anything wrong. If there's a problem, please show us your credentials." The impostors hesitated, their rehearsed confidence flickering. It was then that Aaron straightened, his demeanor shifting from cautious to commanding. "I'm Aaron Williams, Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation." The words hung in the air like a thunderclap. The men froze, badges suddenly looking less convincing. The crowd around the yard shifted, some faces registering surprise, others discomfort. Jasmine stopped recording, eyes wide. Geraldine's expression faltered, a flash of panic crossing her features before she masked it with indignation. "That can't be true," she spat. "You're lying to intimidate us." Aaron's gaze was steady, unwavering. "I'm not here to argue. I expect my family and guests to be treated with respect. Your actions sending imposters to harass us are not only unethical, but illegal." The fake officers exchanged a glance, their facade crumbling under the weight of the revelation. One muttered something under his breath, the other shifted awkwardly. Angela stepped forward, voice clear and unwavering. "This neighborhood should be a place where everyone feels safe and welcome, not one where fear is used to enforce conformity." From the street, genuine Prince George's County cruisers suddenly arrived, their lights flashing in tandem with the fading imposter badges. Real officers approached, their presence authoritative and unambiguous. One of the genuine officers addressed the crowd. "We received reports of impersonation and harassment. We're here to investigate." Neighbors who had earlier whispered in support of the HOA's strict codes now looked on with uncertainty. Some pulled out their phones, capturing the unfolding scene. The joyous backyard BBQ had transformed into a battleground of truth and prejudice. Aaron turned to his family, a quiet strength emanating from him. "Let this be clear, attempts to intimidate us will not succeed. We stand here not just for ourselves, but for every family whose right to live peacefully is challenged by fear and discrimination." Angela nodded, tears glistening in her eyes but her voice steady. "This is our home, too." As officers began collecting statements, the HOA members lingered in silence. Geraldine, back on her porch, stared at the scene unfolding with a tightened jaw, but something flickered behind her eyes. Regret? Or calculation? Later that evening, Angela recounted a memory to the children about their move into the neighborhood, the anonymous note they received with no return address. "Some places weren't meant for you." That flashback deepened the emotional resonance, connecting past pain to the present moment. Malik leaned in. "But we're still here, Mom." "Yes, baby," she said, "and we're not going anywhere." That same evening, Angela and Jasmine joined a community meeting at the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Library in downtown D.C., where local activists, legal advocates, and journalists gathered to discuss racial profiling in affluent suburbs. Jasmine shared the footage she recorded, now viral on social media, prompting gasps and applause. Among the crowd were representatives from the ACLU and the NAACP, along with a law professor from Howard University who offered pro bono support. Back in Maplewood Heights, the ripple effect was undeniable. Some residents came forward anonymously to share stories of silent discrimination, HOA letters for minor infractions, ignored maintenance requests, social exclusion. Others remained bitter, defending the HOA's community standards under the guise of order. By week's end, Geraldine Pratt and the two impersonators were served subpoenas. The Prince George's County State's Attorney's Office confirmed charges of impersonating law enforcement, civil rights violations, and harassment. The Washington Post published an exposé titled "The Suburban HOA That Tried to Intimidate the FBI Director," and MSNBC invited Aaron to speak alongside legal expert Benjamin Crump on national television. In response, the Williams partnered with civil rights attorney Kristen Clark and the Equal Justice Initiative to launch the Maplewood Project, an initiative aimed at exposing discriminatory HOA practices nationwide. Their first public event was held on the steps of Thurgood Marshall Center in Shaw, where Aaron recalled how housing policies had long been weaponized against black families since the days of redlining. Malik, inspired by his family's activism, created a school presentation titled "From Block Party to Breaking Barriers," which earned him a feature at the Prince George's County Black Youth Leadership Summit. Jasmine, now viewed as a youth activist, spoke at a rally in front of Frederick Douglass's historic home in Anacostia, where she encouraged her generation to document, resist, and rebuild. The climax came during a packed town hall at the Maplewood Baptist Church, moderated by Reverend Al Sharpton. The community, fractured but attentive, witnessed a reckoning. Geraldine's resignation, the election of a new HOA board led by a diverse coalition, and a formal apology issued to the Williams family. That evening, Aaron stood beside Angela beneath a mural of Harriet Tubman in Baltimore's Upton neighborhood. "We're standing on the shoulders of giants," he said. "And we refuse to be silent when injustice shows up in a three-piece suit or a homeowner's complaint." As night fell on Maplewood Heights, the sounds of another barbecue echoed through the air, not as resistance, but as reclamation. This time, it wasn't just the Williams celebrating. It was the whole block. Neighbors who once turned away now turned up, bringing dishes, folding chairs, and apologies. And while the story had begun with injustice, it ended with transformation, not just for a neighborhood, but for every viewer who dared to imagine a different kind of America. If this story moved you, please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share it with someone who needs to hear this. Drop a comment to let us know your thoughts and where you're watching from. Your voice matters here, and every story you share helps build a more just, united community.